Hello everyone, so today I'm doing a little review, first impression of the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe The Vault collection. This is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I've already done a video on the Bling Boss palette, and if you want to see that, I'll leave that down in the description box below. So I was really excited when Jaclyn announced that she was coming out with the Vault. I think that all the palettes in the Vault are really pretty, and they were just very up my alley. You're gonna have to ignore my hair throughout this video. It's super hot at the moment. I live in Arizona, so my house is constantly hot. Running your air conditioning isn't cheap here, so we always have it set really high. So all these little, baby hairs that are gonna curl because it's freaking hot, just ignore it. So I'll also be reviewing those other two palettes in the collection, so if you want to see those, definitely stick around. Hopefully I'll have them all up this next week. I'm gonna try to put them out as quick as I can, as having two kids kind of, makes it difficult to film. So a lot of the times I have to film either while they're sleeping, and even then they wake up. Just look at my last video. My baby woke up at the very end, or when my husband's home to watch the kids. So it can be a little bit of hectic and crazy at times. So I'm gonna try to get these videos up as quickly as I possibly can so that you guys can see how I feel about each palette and how my specific palettes perform. I know that there's been a lot of people who say that there are inconsistencies within the palette, so I haven't swatched any of the other ones. I haven't swatched this one. The only one I've played with so far is the Bling Boss palette. So let's just jump right in. If you guys are new, hey, my name's Liz. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Also ring your guys' notification bell so you guys are notified for all my future videos. And if you guys want to see me test out the Armed and Gorgeous palette and see how my palette performs, then just keep watching. Okay, so this is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I think that it's such a fun, pretty, green and orange kind of, it just reminds me of like an army kind of vibe-ish. Maybe it's just because of that green, but I like green, obviously. So I thought that this one was really pretty. Out of the four, this one's probably my least favorite, but that being said, I still think this is a gorgeous palette. And I'll put up a picture of some swatches here for you guys so you can kind of see how they swatch. It's not necessarily an indication of how it's going to perform on your eyes. It really just depends. You can have something that swatches really horrible but then applies really well, and then the exact opposite. You can have shadows that swatch amazing but then apply horrible. So take that with a grain of salt. Swatches don't always mean that the palette is going to be bad. So each individual palette does retail for $15, and then the Vault collection with all four palettes retails for $49. You can see it right back there. So that whole little kit does retail for $49, and then if you purchase them individually, they are $15. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys on in so that we can get started with the palette. Okay, so I've already primed my eyes and set them. So I am just going, what do I want to do? I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do with this. I'm just gonna kind of wing it a little bit. So I am gonna start out with my Morphe M535, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Access. So I'm just gonna take this, run it in my transition area, in my crease, basically just get that first color down. One thing that I have noticed with these shadows is that you kind of do have to build them up quite a bit just to get a good, color payoff. They're not super pigmented, so you do have to build. I don't think this shade is too bad. I'm not a huge fan of yellow eyeshadow just in general on my skin. I don't know. I don't think it looks the best on me. So I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M441, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here called Agent. I'm just gonna throw this kind of softly into my crease, keeping it below the yellow transition shade. So far these colors have been really easy to work with. They blend out pretty easily. So I don't really have any complaints so far. Now I'm gonna go in with my Morphe R39. I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here called Smooth Criminal. And I'm just going to start patting this on my outer corner, kind of dragging it up into my crease. This color isn't too bad as well, but I do notice once you start blending it out, it just starts lifting up. It kind of just brushes away. So I'm assuming you have to go in with several layers in order for it not to do that. And then just using the same brush, I'm just going to use the other side. I'm going to go into the shade Prowl, and I'm just going to dab it just a little bit on my outer corner, just to give it a little bit more depth. I'm not like wowed. They do take a little bit of time to blend out, I would say. And there is a little bit of fallout. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it doesn't look the best. It doesn't look the worst. So, I mean, that's good. All right, and now I'm going to go in with some concealer. This is what I do basically for any kind of shimmer shade. I just want to basically give it a blank canvas to work on. This will also help the shimmer shade stand out a whole lot more. So I am just going to kind of do it over the front half of my lid. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the shade Classified right here. First, I am going to take a brush, just not wet, nothing. Don't get too much on. I'm kind of digging into it a little bit. It does look pretty chunky. And nothing really is happening. I'm just gonna jump right in and use my finger with this shade. That's what I typically do anyways. And then I'm just gonna stamp it all over where I put the concealer. I'm gonna try spraying my finger, see if maybe I can get it to be a little bit more metallic. I am gonna go back in, I'm gonna spray my brush, and I just kind of wanna fix up those edges a little bit. Not horrible. I don't know if it's just, I mean, I do like these colors, but I don't think that they're my favorite. So looking at it, I'm like, it's okay. It's just nothing that I get super, super excited for. There is quite a bit, not like a lot, but there is a bit of fallout on my cheeks right here. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my under eye area. I'm gonna do the other eye off camera, do the rest of my face makeup, and I'll be right back to start the lower lash line. Okay, so I basically did the rest of my face, some mascara, so I'm going to jump right back in to the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the shade Top Secret right here, and I'm going to take it on a Morphe E18, and I'm going to run this along my lower lash line. And with the same brush, I'm going to jump back into the Access shade, this yellow one, and then I'm just going to go over that green shade. Now I'm going to go in with some bottom mascara. Okay, you guys, and here is the final result. I think I'm a little disappointed. I don't know. It just didn't perform the way that I hoped that it would. I feel like the mattes, especially the darker mattes, were a bit hard to blend out, which drives me absolutely insane. As you can see, part of, you know, the outer corners, it just looks a little bit harsh, a lot harsher than what I like. I don't know. I think that a lot of the problem is that everybody had such high expectations when it came to this palette, came to the palettes, the Vault collection in general, and especially because her last palette was so good. And honestly, my ColourPop shadows are way better than this. Granted, I mean, you get bigger pans, and this is only $15. I mean, they're about the same price, but honestly, my ColourPop shadows perform way better than these do. I just feel like this look turned out pretty muddy. It's just not my favorite. It's pretty, but I don't know that I would reach for these shadows again. I don't know, and maybe it's just me. I'm not a huge fan of like yellows and oranges on my eyes, so that could be it. I don't know how big of a fan I am of this. I really like the VIP shade. That's what's in my inner corners, and I feel like it really just makes it pop. So if I could get a single shadow of this, I totally would. Kind of a bit of a bummer, kind of a bit of a disappointment, but I guess we will see how the other two palettes perform. Definitely stay tuned for those. And again, if you want to see my Bling Boss palette review, then I'll go ahead and link that down below. I think that that palette performed way better than this one. So I don't know, have you guys tried the Armed & Gorgeous palette? What are your guys' thoughts on it? Just a vault collection in general, what do you guys think? Have you guys tried any of them? I want to know. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Definitely subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time. Bye.